now we'll go to Laila Gislason. She is co-founder of Foundation for the Future and leads marketing and development efforts. Ms. Gislason is a seasoned marketing executive with an extensive knowledge of change management, design thinking, and brand alignment. She previously worked in marketing roles across Fortune 500 companies and is passionate about helping teams bring out the best through cultural development. She studied industrial design at the University of Michigan and is joining us from Ann Arbor. All yours, Laila.
Thank you so much, Lee. Well, first off, I just want to thank everyone for being here. Your support means a lot to all of us. We have a small and growing team, and yeah, we're just overjoyed that you're here. I'll begin just by giving an overview of the day, and then I'll drop into a higher level overview of what we're doing here at the foundation and what our goals are. As you can see, Tim is in Akron, so we will be touching on a lot of Akron-themed topics. And I want to really kick off by mentioning maybe not quite the elephant in the room, but this event used to be called Blue Marble Week. So I still have to retrain my brain to call it Conversations for the Future. We call it C4F for short, but this is a monthly series that is inspiring conversations to advance space access for everyone. So if you've been tuning in since December 2020, which is when we kicked off our first Blue Marble Week event, you'll know that the event will not be changing much, but we do want to, as Tim said, make it more conversational. We've incorporated some more conversational elements, and of course, we want you to drop notes in the chat and feel free to reach out to each other and just keep it relaxed, if you will. So our goal at the foundation is to make space accessible to everyone, not just astronauts and billionaires, as people like to say. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to accelerate the United States' space infrastructure development. So this is kind of the building of the roads and rails of space. And again, like Tim likes to say, to make space boring enough to be routine. We're doing that through education, advocacy, and through collective voice. And really, most importantly, urgency. If we want to see progress in space in the coming years, 3, 5, 10 years from now, we really need to make changes now. Luckily, we are proposing a solution to this acceleration. It's called the Space Corporation Act, which is a bill that we're currently proposing to the 117th Congress. We are excited to report that over 80 representatives and senators are in early support of the bill. So a lot of support, a lot of buzz. It's really exciting. So the foundation and this event itself has a big vision and big goals, which I'll dive into later. And we'll talk more about the Space Act. I'll also talk more about the event's slight shift in focus, obviously the name change and the rebrand. But first, I will provide a quick overview of the day. As Lee mentioned, the month's theme is energy in space. We'll touch on the various energy sources within space. And yes, of course, we'll discuss space-based solar power, the infrastructure and policies required to activate it, and the workforce will need to enable it, and really the whole ecosystem. I don't know that anyone here is from Akron. Usually you can see a hand raise or wave or yelling or something, but it's unlikely, and it's unlikely that you know much about it. So yeah, I'm again super excited to have Tim there, and he'll be educating us on how Midwest towns like Akron can become a part of the space economy. I think typically that's associated with Florida, California, now Alabama, but we hope to change that, and we hope that throughout this event we can uncover why towns like Akron are exactly what this industry needs. I don't think Tim mentioned it, but I thought this was an interesting fun fact. Akron is already on the space map. Judith Resnick was the second woman in space, and she was also one of the astronauts who tragically died in the Challenger explosion. But I think she's still a popular name there, and yeah, it's funny how small this country is and how connected it is, and how anyone can come from anywhere and rise to greatness. So, anyways, today is lined up to be a very engaging day. We will start this morning with Coyote Smith, who is the associate professor at the U.S. Air Force Air Command and Staff College. He will dive into his report about space-based solar power and strategic security. If you want to get a sneak peek of that report, do go to our website. It's on the event page. If you scroll down and find his bio, you'll see a little link there that you can click on. We'll also be joined by Peter Gerritsen, who is a senior fellow in defense studies from the American Foreign Policy Council, and then also retired Lieutenant General Stephen Quast of the U.S. Air Force. He's very dynamic. He's spoken at our events here before. And then, but before we let them go, the three of them and Michael Lane, of course, will jump into a conversation starting at 11:30, where they'll collectively discuss space-based solar, and really more from a defense and national security perspective, and an energy scarcity perspective, which is interesting. So definitely tune in for that. And then starting at 12:30, Dallas Bienhoff will speak. He is the founder of Lunar Space Development. He will be joined by, he will then be joined by, sorry, let me take a sip here of water, by Paul Chang, who is the founder of Fuse Ring, and they will both talk about hardware and the tools necessary to support infrastructure of space-based solar. So, we'll squeeze in some more segments from Tim. And then starting at 3, this conversation I'm very excited about, we'll be hosting the dynamic Rick Tumlinson of the Space Fund and many other ventures. He was also one of the producers on the High Frontier documentary about Gerard O'Neill, which just came out recently. And he'll be joined by Will Henry, who's the executive producer of the film. Really excited. I did have the pleasure of watching the film when they showed it live a couple weeks ago, and I've got to say I was really impressed. I wasn't surprised by the quality of the film, that was a given, but just how it shifted my perspective a little bit on kind of our size and scale in the universe. And check it out. It's on Apple TV. If you have a moment, I think you'll be more inspired to do so after the conversation. Before we close, this cannot be missed, and I think the majority of this will be tomorrow, but Tom Olson of the Center for Space Commerce and Finance will give us a preview of what to expect from the business plan competition. This is a kind of Shark Tank style event where a couple of entrepreneurs will go head to head to win the competition. It's super exciting. So definitely tune in. And of course, we'll continue to ponder the space economy and all of these things. So energy and space, love the title, love the theme. Yes, the default is the obvious space-based solar and some other resources in space, but energy can come from various forms, no? And I think while harnessing the energy in space has the potential to change everything, our collective energy here on Earth also has the potential to do the same. In fact, it has to if we want to see progress towards space access for everyone in our lifetimes. I assume that's why we're all here. I think that's definitely something we all share, is kind of a bigger and broader vision for what our place in the universe can be. So one of my favorite quotes is from anthropologist Margaret Mead. She said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." So thank you for joining the conversation here today. I'm now going to kind of switch over to presentation mode. Let me share my screen. I think I'm the first one to attempt to do this, so let's make sure it works. So does anyone else have any May the 4th anecdotes? Michael, I'm surprised.
So I made a very conscious decision to not wear my Chewbacca t-shirt for this event, but it was a close call. I mean, I am wearing little fuzzy furry animals, but I chose not to wear my my shirt says party animal, but when I wear it, the only thing anybody can see from the screen level is party, and it didn't quite work. So
too much party.
Yeah. I chose not to wear it, but it was a close thing.
All right. Sorry about this.
Bring out the Inara's lightsaber. Thanks.
Awesome.
Would you like me to introduce Emily while you're working on that?
You know what? If Emily is ready, that would be great.
Emily, are you ready to go?
Yep, all set.
All right.
Thanks,
So we'll be excited to get back to Laila when she has those issues worked out. But before we move on to our next speaker after that she gave us that rundown, I want to offer the screen to Emily Mishler in the Development Office for Foundation for the Future. Specializing in business development, creative strategy, and fundraising, Emily launched her first company at the age of 22 and has since raised and distributed over $20 million of private investment for private clients, for-profit entities, and NGOs. She runs a group of impact-driven companies called the Cultivated Group and is on a mission to ignite and empower individuals and organizations to be the change they wish to see in the world. Good morning, Emily.
Hi, Lee. Thank you so much for that generous introduction. It's wonderful to see you all. A lot of familiar faces. Great to see you back, and also great to see some new ones. So thank you all for joining us in Conversations for the Future today. As these relationships continue to grow and progress continues to be made, it's becoming more important than ever before to have the infrastructure in place to support the foundation for the future's growth. And we're positioning the foundation to be able to continue this important work for years, if not generations to come. From the conversations that have already been had today and will continue to be had today, it's becoming abundantly clear that our work is disruptive, necessary, and the time is now. And that means the Foundation for the Future needs your help. The comprehensive vision, expertise, dedication, and momentum of the speakers today, and the vision of the Foundation for the Future, the powering force behind Conversations for the Future, is more impressive and important than ever before. The future the Foundation is building is inspiring and worth investing in. This future, in space and beyond, as Laila had mentioned, is being built one relationship, conversation, and connection at a time. In order to continue this momentum in building and contributing to this caliber of event, conversation, and building community, we need your help. We need you, our allies, attendees, partners, advocates, and friends, to spread the word about our important work through social media, invite like-minded and like-hearted peers to our events, and to help us connect with philanthropists and organizations who believe what we believe, that our future in space is ours for the building, and the time is now. We're so excited to announce 3 different avenues to become involved if you're interested and curious in supporting our financial work. On the corporate level, we have the opportunity to sponsor Conversations for the Future. For more information, please visit our website, f4f.space. And you can also sponsor and support the foundation at large on a corporate level on a monthly and annual basis to support this important work. If you, your friends, or family are inspired to support us, secondarily, we welcome your contributions to support personally building space infrastructure and economy. The foundation has also recently launched a corporate and individual membership program whose mission is to connect like-minded and passionate individuals who see near-term space potential. We're recruiting everyone from students to CEOs to join us in creating a dynamic ecosystem of young enthusiasts, investors, entrepreneurs, organizations, and larger industry partners inside or outside of the space industry. You will see the QR code on that screen if you want to give it a little video. Inside or outside of the space industry, we'll welcome all who want to join and contribute to this urgent conversation which impacts us all. More information is again available on the Foundation's website, f4f.space/membership. So what is the ask here? Help us in making space boring, because the time is now and the world can't wait. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Laila, Tim, or any affiliate of the Foundation for the Future. Our emails are our first name at f4f.space. Our contact information and a link to donate is also available at the QR code that's on the screen and through the website. I'll be happy to stick around and field any questions that y'all may have in the chat. And thank you so much. But for now, I'll turn it back over to our MCs and Laila for our regularly scheduled programming. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Emily. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in. Okay, change the screen now. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. So yeah, again, I'm Laila, Chief of Marketing and co-founder of Foundation for the Future, and gave a quick introduction already about what we're expecting during this event, but I want to give a little bit more background about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and talk about some of the initiatives that we're kicking off here with the foundation. So again, thank you all for joining us. As I mentioned, we kicked off this event series back in December with some of our phenomenal partners. And our goal is really to accelerate the United States's space expansion through infrastructure development. We really see it as the first step to creating a thriving space industry and economy. And it's really the first gateway to outer space. Without the infrastructure here on Earth to support and further expand our reach, there is no final frontier. So today, again, I'll share a little bit more about the foundation, our vision and goals, a little bit of background on how this event evolved, and a little bit about our outreach and advocacy efforts. So here are our goals, and they are designed to support our vision of space access for everyone. Number one, to create sustainable space infrastructure that supports economic growth on Earth while securing US interests in space. Number two, to pass the Congressional Space Corporation Act of 2021. And a little more on this will come here, because this is really our most urgent initiative. We are proposing it now to the 117th US House and Senate, and it will hopefully go to presidential signature into law no later than the 60th anniversary of the Communications Satellite Act of 1962. So that's here in the coming year. The Space Corporation Act will provide a public-private corporate structure to finance space projects, and it will offer loan guarantees through commercial lending institutions. This is to support technology innovations. Obviously, this industry is just ripe and I think ready to explode with the right stimulus. It will create an investment fund to provide support to new space companies. It will provide grants to small businesses and other starting entrepreneurs in the space sector, and support for the public benefit of space infrastructure projects through bonds and other financing opportunities. The Space Corporation enterprise will have 3 offices, next slide please, which together will serve as the linchpin for the planning, financing, and administration of the basic infrastructure. There will be a Space Development Fund, Spaceport Authority, and a Center for Space Studies. So getting back to our third goal, next slide please, to create an ecosystem of commerce for companies, innovators, and leaders who are building the future of America. We're here to start a conversation, make connections, and to ignite a community around our shared vision, which brings us to this event. So this monthly event series is one of the many ways in which we are supporting our vision for space access for everyone. And, you know, again, starting conversations with small, dedicated, like-minded people like yourselves has the potential to change a lot of things. In fact, since December when we started, I would argue that most of the value of this event has really come through the conversations that sometimes follow the event. The people that we meet, the things we learn, the connections that are made, introductions made, it's really incredible. And we're just excited to be a part of this network. So Blue Marble Week, the original concept for our event, it's not disappearing. We're actually going to maintain the name for our December event, which will be a true celebration of the namesake of the event, which is the photograph that was taken by the Apollo 17 crew in 1972 on December 7th. So that's exciting, and that will really take on more of a celebratory, I guess, angle. This is more educational, really looking forward to Blue Marble Week being a party. So our goal is to, you know, keep Blue Marble as a symbol, of course, of our organization, but we want to achieve something bigger with the conversations. And as I mentioned, the magic is in the conversations. So I wanted to invite one of our very key team members, Leo Janos, who is our designer, creative person, digital master, all of the above. He's also one of the MCs for this event. And I just wanted to invite him in to talk a little bit about how we came to the new identity and the new brand for the event. I think I just want to start by saying this is a Foundation for the Future event, and we wanted to make sure that was clear in the conversations for the future event. So obviously the name is similar. We wanted to keep the branding similar. Leo, are you around?
Yes, I'm right here. Hi, Laila. How are you?
Hey, Leo. I'm great. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah. So you came up with this incredible design. I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on it, because I know you've articulated it so well with a lot of us internally. Yeah, just kind of high level, couple minutes on how you came to this and what it means.
Yeah, of course. By the way, you look beautiful today.
Oh, thank you. You don't look too shabby yourself.
Thank you. I try. So hi, everybody. Yes, my name is Leo Janos, and I am design manager along with a couple other things here at Foundation for the Future. As Laila eloquently put, you know, one of the key factors in what this event is the conversational piece of everything. In designing this logo, I asked myself, how can I put a logo that actually pretty much represents what conversations are? And I looked into my past, on my childhood, and me being an avid comic book reader as a kid, one of the reasons that conversations was obviously put out was in a chat bubble. So I asked myself, well, I want to create a logo that represents the conversational aspect in a chat bubble, but also make it space. So that's why I came up with this logo, which is not just a chat bubble, but it also represents the orbital things, the launch aspect of ideas, of conversation, of that pretty much connection, and have that classical feel of what Foundation for the Future is. And I came up with this, and I was very much really excited to show to the team what I had come up with, because it has roots that are very profound to myself, because I wanted it to represent pretty much what this event does, which is a collaboration of all of these amazing people who come together in this culture as a family of space, pretty much people who are in love with the idea of what space is. Not even if you grew up thinking, okay, I want to become an astronaut, or I want to work for NASA, or I want to work for something that has to do with space, and you didn't actually grow up to be that, that never goes away. You know, as if you're a part of these events, you're a part of a movement. And in doing so, you're aiding us and helping us in bringing together space access for everyone, which is what we are here, Foundation for the Future, we stand for, and we're making possible for everybody, not just a certain group of people, not just an elite group of people who are able to do that, but to everybody who ever thought, you know what? What's out there? What's in space? When I look up at the stars and I ask myself, you know what? I want to go on and be an adventure and explore. Conversations for the Future embodies all of that. It is a blueprint of all of these conversational pieces. So with this logo, I think that I nailed it. I'm not gonna, toot my own horn or anything, but I'm really proud of it, because when I look at it, I do see what this event represents. So I hope that when you look at this, I want you to ask yourself, well, what does this represent for myself? Everybody has ideas, they're all different, but that's what makes it unique. So thank you so much, Laila.
Thank you, Leo. Appreciate that. And I just want to add that, our goal for this event is not just to be for the space industry. I think initially that's who we are here. We are kind of within the industry, or space enthusiasts, but not exclusively. I mean, I'm new to the industry, and I've been warmly welcomed. Leo as well. He's an artist, creative photographer who's always had a passion for space. So here he is, and we want this event to be welcoming to, not just everyone, but different industries. And I think though many industries may not see how they relate to space yet, they will in the very near future. We're actually co-authoring an article in Foundry magazine, which is for Foundry professionals, miners, and starting to have conversations about why this is not just a space conversation. Space will need manufacturers, plumbers, automotive people. So this will certainly be a group effort. So 2 slides ahead, please. So speaking on other skills needed for potentially a new workforce, we here at the foundation are creating a workforce development center. Again, we're going to need skills far beyond the scope of astronauts, welders, logisticians, hospitality workers, and it's really not too soon to enable educators, employers, and parents to understand the full range of careers available within the space economy. So that's something that we're in the process of doing. Also, we are, next slide, please. We are launching a scholarship program, most recently with Langston University, a historically Black college and university. They are helping us find a student who is, again, not maybe the most obvious choice, but really a student who is passionate about space and really dedicated to the vision of space. Next slide, please. We are, as I mentioned before, we're kicking off our Center for Space, Commerce and Finance Business Plan Competition, which you'll learn more about here later today, and tune in for tomorrow to get a better sense of what we're doing there. Also to make a bigger impact, next slide. On the Hill, we are hosting congressional webinars. Those are open to everybody. So far, we've already hosted a number of these webinars and the audience just keeps growing. So it's really great. Our next one will be on May 10th at 8:30 in the morning. You can go online and register for that now. It's going to be about federal appropriations and the future of space development. That'll be really good. So tune in for that. Emily mentioned this briefly, but I just wanted to also talk a little bit about what we're doing to help both spread our message and to create, again, this collective vision and voice. We've recently established a membership program, which will really help us achieve two goals. We will empower our community, and we will also create a sustainable model that will enable us to continue our education and advocacy work, and of course, support our passing of the Space Corporation Act. And we are already well on our way. Next slide, please. Here is a list of our growing members and supporters. We really want to form an alliance here with a collective voice. So between now and May 10th, we are on a sprint to collect to collect support, really, and signatures for an open letter to Congress. And I will read that quickly, and then we'll move on here in a moment. But the reason I want to read this is because I think we'd like to add as many supporters to this list as possible. So as we send this list to the executive branch and Congress, we want, not just SpaceX and Blue Origin at the top of this list, but we want 100 logos of support to show that there is a need for what we're proposing, and that there is support behind it. It's not just one voice, it's really the whole industry. So let me read that to you real quick, and then we'll move on. Dear President Biden and leaders of the House and Senate, for over 60 years, U.S. government and private sector investment in space programs have showcased American innovation, ambition, and accomplishment on the worldwide stage. Space is inextricably linked to our economic prosperity, U.S. national security, understanding of our planet, and everyday American life. As our nation becomes increasingly reliant on space for these endeavors and future technological challenges, the interconnectivity of our three space sectors, civil, commercial, and national security, require public policies and investment rooted in a whole of society approach. Right now, the private sector provides the short-term, generally 10-year and earlier financing for space investments, large and small. NASA and Space Force provide long-term scientific and military investments, but the country lacks a source of long-term infrastructure financing. A solution to that problem is the Space Corporation, a public-private partnership designed to unlock long-term private capital without requiring large government investments. New tools and investments in the space economy will provide stability and continuity to the United States space endeavors, enabling historic exploration and scientific achievements, continued U.S. space industry global leadership, and enhanced national security. Harnessing the space sector's capabilities will help fuel our economic recovery, help solve the climate crisis, and build the diverse 21st century education system and workforce that America needs and deserves. We strongly encourage this Congress and the Biden administration to support the rapid passage into law of the Space Corporation Act. So thank you. If you have a space or space adjacent company and you want to add it to our name to your name to our list on the open letter to Congress, please drop your email in the chat and I will send you this letter as well as a draft of the Space Act for review. Your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Yeah, without further ado, I will wrap it up, but thank you again for tuning in. Feel free to contact me at Laila at f4f.space. And I look forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Laila. And what an impressive list of members that is on that slide, growing so quickly over the last few weeks. Thank you to our enthusiastic audience here today to hear about energy and space. I think we can feel some of that energy building here in the chat and in the virtual room. Be sure to add your LinkedIn to the chat to leverage the networking benefits of this event.